Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. We're just going to give it one more minute because there's still a few people popping on the webinar, and then we'll get started right away. All right, we're going to get started. Thanks, everyone, for joining the video and activity tile demo. Just real quick housekeeping items. My name is Erin Haynes, a strategist at Social Edge. And before I hand it over to John to jump into the demo, which I know everyone really wants to see, I just want to remind everyone that we want to keep this informal. We know most of you and a lot of you have already been posting in the early access group. So please feel free to post any questions in the GoToMeeting panel or in the chat. And as John is talking, if there's anything we can answer as we go, we'll try and do that there. And if there's anything we don't get to before the end, we will gather all those questions and answers and post them in the early access group afterwards so we can keep collaborating that way. And with that, John, I'll hand it over to you and we can get started with the demo.
Okay, thanks, Erin. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, everyone. And thanks for joining. As Erin said, we're excited that you've been in the early access group, checking out our latest video and activity tile. If you have any questions about more information, we do have some links here on the dashboard, which include the pages that we've set up where these tiles are displayed, and then also a sneak peek into some of the detail on the configuration panel. And I will spend some time on all of these things today. I'm going to try to keep the demo to the next 10 or 15 minutes. And since we do have a good crew, we want to allow your questions and some discussion based off of that. And I'll look forward to the rest of my team gathering some questions in the chat as we go along. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to pop into is the activity tile. And again, at a very high level, there aren't many out-of-the-box opportunities to show activity with custom tiles. We are taking this opportunity to really showcase content in activity. And so the primary function of this tile is to showcase the content as well as all the other social and collaborative features of it. We also didn't want to limit this to one activity stream, so we have the ability to have multiple tabs or multiple streams within one tile, and I'll show you some of those options as we dig into the configuration. We have the ability to put this tile in all of the various Jive or Lithium JX column sizes, so this can go on the news page. It can go in a wide column. You can see here on the right, we also have a narrow column. And like most Jive tiles, the narrow column also is replicated in the mobile experience. Okay, so just to look over some of the functionality here, I can see recent activity. For a certain number of actions, there are actually a large list of actions that you can show in the activity. We're showing the primary ones, like a user most recently created, a user most recently modified, somebody commented, somebody liked. There are actually interesting actions like somebody unliked something, but In reality, that's we want to show the primary actions that you would expect from an activity stream. So you can see a blurb of this original activity, as well as showing more, which allows you to see the whole post. And then also with comments, the most recent comment can be shown in full or to show less. And just to anticipate some feedback that we've already gotten, we will plan on having a link here that will show all comment activity. So right now you can see for this first item, there are 9 comments, but we're only showing the most recent one. And this feature actually will be in the original, in the initial release. So be assured of that. Okay. I could also reply directly within the tile, and we have a rich text editor, which allows you to include information about your reply. And when you post that, that'll get added automatically to the threaded discussion. As I scroll down, I can go to the bottom of the feed and load more. And if there is more recent activity, you can essentially have a bottomless scrolling. Okay, and the same experience is replicated in narrow mode here, or in a smaller column, and in mobile, where you can see just the space is optimized to make use of the available space. Okay, so if I'm going to take a deeper dive into the configuration panel, just close up some of these initial items. So primarily we do show a preview at the top. This is something that is in a few of our existing tiles in our Tiles by Social Edge line. And this helps obviously with seeing what your settings would look like in preview. And this is a live preview, so if you change other options or colors, it will reflect here, so you don't have to save the tile, then save the page before you can view what the tile is going to look like. As far as the layout options, we have a threaded view and a masonry view. I can change this one to masonry view to show you what that would look like. It's a very similar, I could say, Pinterest-like display where cards of various heights form a nice presentation of your activity. With the setup, very simple interface that allows you to set up these tabs of activity. From here, you can enter a title, which would be displayed as the title of the tab. You can select from a few different choices. So you can select activity from the entire community, from a place, from a current place, and from a person. There is a specific reason why we can't choose multiple places at once. And that's because there is the API only allows you to get activity by one place at a time. So we've mitigated that by allowing you to have multiple tabs. So for example, if you want to provide the activity from 4 different places, you can have 4 different tabs all in one tile, and the user can click between them. The number of initial results can be displayed. You can present a few different date formats for readability. And you can restrict to content type with a few nice utilities here to just either select a few or select them all. In the theme, we've presented an initial list of themes, which give you a nice attractive gradient type view. And if you'd also like to implement your custom colors for your brand, you can choose the custom option. And by default, if you provide a color, it would be a solid color, and then you could have a link color that would complement it. And if you want the advanced theming part of it for a custom color, you can have the gradient start and gradient end. If you have that information from your designers, you can pop that in and have an attractive design based on your brand. The other features are common across our other tiles, but I'll go over them quickly. You have the ability to add custom HTML above and below the tile if you want to have some intro text or just some other follow-up links or other material. There is JavaScript support within these boxes, so that allows you to put some rich interaction. As far as the fonts go, like all of our tiles, you can choose either a basic font, Google font, or reference your own custom font. And in activity, we did simplify so that you only have to choose one text color, and all of the other headings adjust proportionally based on that initial selection. A new feature we're adding to these two tiles, and in 2019 will get rolled out to our other tiles, is Google Analytics support. As you may know, tiles do not inherit the configuration of the Jive community settings. So if you want Google Analytics or GTM tracking, you can enter these codes here and then get interesting analytics on how your users are interacting with the tile. And then lastly, our migrate configuration, which can be used for taking this configuration and using it on another space very quickly. Okay, next I'm going to go to the video. And on our video tile, you can see here on the landing page, we have a few different iterations of the video tile. There's either a single video mode or a gallery mode. And the gallery mode is fairly standard, basing this off of best practices for presentation of galleries. Across the bottom would be all the other videos that are available that can be shown. And with the play controls, we've developed a player that's compatible for all browsers, that you can have your expected controls like progress, advanced fast forward, shows the duration, volume controls, quality settings. There are actually, with Jive Video, there are a few different quality settings that can be rendered. And if you're, depending on some locations, they may not have the best broadband, so they can choose a lesser quality and still watch the video. And then there is also the option to download the video, but this will only be enabled if your system settings are enabled to download that. For the main video, whatever video is playing, you can have associated metadata, so you could have the title of the video, your classic Jive byline, which would show the author when it was posted and where it was posted in which place, and then a description here about the video. You could also see the number of comments, the likes, and the views. And we've also implemented a way to show comments in line for the video. Currently, it just shows the last few. Again, it's a little different from activity. We just want to focus on the video content, but you can also add a comment within this interface, and it'll be directly added to the video. You can see on the right, we've compacted this into a mobile view, which still allows for all the information to be presented. In mobile, we're just hiding the long description so you can focus right on the video and other metrics. Video tile also supports external sources, so we currently support YouTube and Vimeo. And you can see it, this is a single video view. You can see it's basically the same. You can put in your own title and description. The only thing missing are some of the author and commenting details, because if you link directly to an external video, it obviously doesn't have any of that Jive metadata. So we can only display that information from the external video. And you could see it shows all the controls from the native player. So the YouTube player does have a few more options, allows you to integrate with your watch later and to do some sharing. And that's the same for Vimeo. Okay, so let's take a look under the covers. As far as layout, also very similar to the other layout options we offer for other tiles. You have right away the ability to choose single video or a gallery. And with the videos, we have a rich preview. We are currently enhancing this preview mode. You can see it does kind of skew the preview a little bit because the font isn't scaling. Not to worry, that will be tidied up for the initial release. And much like, you can see it's a very similar interface to Mosaic. If you're a Mosaic user, you have the videos listed, you have the ability to add a new video. And if I go look at one of these existing videos, you can see I can either get the video from Jive content or an external source. If it's Jive content, I can select the video, I can search for it by clicking this button. It'll give me a content lookup and search. We also have the ability to pull in videos by tags. So if you have all of your your videos tagged, it would bring in all the videos with that tag. And the initial title will be pre-filled, but you could always overwrite this and then also add the description on top of that for the rich media. As you know, with Jive videos, there isn't a way to specify which video or which freeze frame or still gets added. So you have the ability to overwrite that thumbnail either from whatever Jive or the external source is going to provide, or you can provide your own custom thumbnail. In all the videos, all the ones that you saw on the front page, those are all using custom thumbnails. And as far as the order in the order of display, you could always take these and drag and drop them around and change which one is the primary video. The first video shown in the list will be the first video displayed. Gives you fine-grained control around where you show the metadata. By default, it's to the right. You could also choose left, above, or below. And you can also control the elements in the byline. You could even not show them at all. Have an option to autoplay if that's your choice. And then have any links open in a new window as well. If I go into the theme, very simple theming. You can, since the video is going to have really its own styling of its own, we're just left to style a few colors. And you can style the title, metadata, and arrow colors. The other sections are the same. I'm not going to go over them in too much detail, with the exception of the fonts. The fonts, you can change the title size and the description. And then under advanced, there is a section here to control the margins. Okay, otherwise copy and paste with migrate configuration and Google Analytics and add custom HTML. These are the same, and we're trying to keep these consistent across all tiles. Okay, and we have had some feedback in these groups, so keep it coming. And at this point, I'd like to bring in my colleagues to let me know if we have any questions that we can start addressing.
We did have one that was posted, John, and it was just asking specific to the activity tile if there is an RSS integration.
Currently, that's not planned. Right now, this focuses on internal Jive activity. I can tell you that we have had the request for RSS integration in the past. We've considered that maybe even a separate tile opportunity, but I think it's, especially since I just demoed the video integration that has internal and external video, I don't think it's out of the question to consider external activity as a future requirement. So that's a good one. But currently it does not support RSS activity. I will additionally add, I will additionally add that we are, as I mentioned, wrapping up a few of the fixes based on some comments that you had brought up to us, and we are planning for release of the tiles in early March of this year. And currently, the activity tile would be priced individually at $4,500 US, and the activity tile, the video tile would be $4,000 US. As many of you know, we do have the community tile pack, which for a $10,000 yearly subscription would get you access to all 11 tiles. And if you need more information on that, certainly please let us know. And like with our other tiles, you can see here on the right with the presentation, we will have a user guide for each of these, which will be made available. So each of the 11 tiles in the community pack, or if sold individually, each does come with its own PDF user guide, which is updated as we release with features. Also, if anybody has any feedback or questions about participation in the early access group, you could let us know there as well. Okay, I think we're just going to, we're actually even going to allow, trying to enable some live questions. Just give us a moment to look into this setting.
In the meantime, John, I'm just wondering if you wanted to show on the activity tile just some of the, if you go back to that tab for a second.
Sure.
Wanted to remind everybody what can we use this for. You're not limited to just one page of tile. You can have a couple tabs. So when you're trying to think practically speaking, what can you use this for? You can have multiple views. So you may consider having your group or space page with a focus of one tab being showcasing various discussions and another tab focused on showcasing latest blog posts.
Mm-hmm.
It really does allow you to have a lot more than just simply showing one feed.
Right.
And in this example here, we actually have two tabs, recent activity and Amara's activities.
Mm-hmm. Right. I did promise earlier also show the Mason review, and that's shown here. Again, you still have the same controls, same data, just different look. And you can reply here. Again, there isn't a lot of real estate to reply in line on these cards. So when you reply, it will take you to the content. But same thing, it gives you it does pull in imagery from the content directly, much like the list view does as well. And it's a matter of preference. This may work, well on top level landing pages where you can use the list view where you want to focus on content and interaction on some other pages. So we're covering both ends.
Yeah, and we still have a small group and some time, so I don't know if everyone saw the chat, but you should be able to unmute yourself. So if anyone wants to ask a live question, we're more than happy to have a conversation. And if anyone can't, we can do it if you have troubles with the go-to controls.
Mm-hmm.
While we're waiting, John, do you want to go back to the video tile and just toggle again for, a couple people might have missed it in the beginning, just the differences between the single video and the...
Yep, sure. So this towards the bottom here shows is a video of our own accordion tile. With single video mode allows you to have the video to the left and the metadata to the right. As well, in a narrow column, you can see on the right, a gallery would be presented top to bottom, where the videos can be scrolled up and down. And then the gallery mode here, it's showing a list of external videos, where we have a YouTube video focused. You can see this also took advantage of a Google font, which makes it a little bit more attractive depending on the fonts that you like. And then the rest of the gallery items shown down here with a preview of what that video is.
John, there's a question in the chat.
Sure.
Are there any size limits or format restrictions for videos in the video tile?
Yeah, great question. Not as far as duration. Each of so video, well, the technical answer is that video is primarily standardized on this landscape view. We've allowed for this area to show the video with the maximum impact depending on which column you're using. The best way to describe it is if you have this in a 2/3 column like we have it here, the proportion of the video being shown matches what description you would present here on the right. I don't have a full screen mode, but with full screen, you would have more room show the video, and then the metadata would be shown on the right. So really, depending on where you're using it, would depend on where you show the content next to it. And you could see here that that's why the reason why you wouldn't have any content shown to the right or the left on the mobile view. But any video that you choose, YouTube and Vimeo would be standard. Jive video is also standard as far as the landscape mode. You may notice in the out-of-the-box Jive video tile, it always shows it with extra bars to the left and right, for lack of a better word. So all the available space to the left and right is just taken up by a blank color. So in this case, we've taken up that empty space with metadata. So hope that answers your question. Yeah, we haven't seen any other. We haven't seen, as far as duration goes. I mean, the video can be 2 hours. There's no restriction there. Anything there would depend on where you've uploaded it. And I wanted to mention that you could see from an administrative standpoint, there's 2 ways to upload external videos. As you know, if you upload a Jive video, you can either upload a video file or choose an external provider like YouTube or Vimeo. And actually Jive, because it's integrated with the platform, can integrate with a larger number of platforms like Brightcove and other video providers. So you could choose to upload your YouTube video first as a Jive video, and then if you included that in the video tile, you would be able to take advantage of seeing the author, getting the likes and comments, and that sort of display. But we also wanted to give you the flexibility that if you just wanted to simply link out directly to a YouTube video without any other metadata, you can do that without the prior step of adding it first as Jive video. So I'm sure you'll understand that distinction, but it does give you a lot of flexibility. Okay. Anybody else, feel free to come off mute or ask your question or use the GoToWebinar. All right, so we are at the bottom of the hour, or bottom of the half hour. Appreciate your time.
I have one more, John, if you have a second.
Okay, yep, I can take it.
What does the tile show if someone doesn't have access to the posted video?
That's a good question. So like all of our other content, the presentation of curated content, so this also applies to our Mosaic, is that the visibility of the content is always dependent on who the user is. So it's assumed that if it's posted in a place that the user has access to that place to be able to see it. Any content that's not visible just simply won't be shown.
Great. And just a reminder to all, we're looking to debut these in early March. If you are interested in, being a part of our future early access, we're continuing to innovate on our tiles. We're always interested in having testers and people with feedback as we look to work on our products. And of course, I wanted to remind you, if you are a subscriber to the Manager Tile Pack, we will be having some updates as well for our blog and our search tiles coming out very soon. Well, if there are no more questions, John and Aaron, I think we are ready to wrap it up. Thank you to everyone who joined today. This recording will be available. We'll post it. And for anyone who couldn't make it, if any of your colleagues, you will be able to share that link with them so that they can watch for themselves. Okay. Thank you. I think
All right,
that's
thanks
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone.
Take care.